Good morning, class. My name is Jose Mercado. I'm part of the group of Yerick and author of Sherlock Holmes. I'm going to give you two summaries of two different stories. I'm going to start. The Adventure of the Speckled Band. Holmes and Watson aroused from sleep by the river of a lady, Susan Turner. She looked agitated and in a great state of fear. She said that she is the stepdaughter of Dr. Himes B. Royland, a quick temporary retired doctor from a very old family, with eccentric habits like keeping wild animals and entertaining gypsies on his land. She also told of her twin sister dead 2 years ago from unexpected cause. Her last word was the band, the speckled band. Just a fortnight before her marriage, Miss Turner is also said to marry in some time and has to sleep in her sister's bed given because he given some repair to her room. When she heard a lot of whisper as her sister used to hear, he decided to visit Holmes and Holmes tried to go and investigate. But her father said to not interfere because okay. However, Holmes and Watson visit his house and find a dummy bell rope installed on top of the room. The bed with a ventilator connected to her father's room. Holmes decided to spend the night in her room and hear the same whistle upon which he struck at the bell pulled brutally. It turned out to be a spotted snake, which used the rope to travel the room and room. An enraged beat Ryland after it traveled to his room back to the rope and ventilator. Ryland had planned to murder his daughter to keep her money. That was the investigation that do Holmes and Watson and discovered that their father wanted to kill the other the other's daughter because he wanted to take the money of the money. Now I'm going to go to the second summarize the adventure of the man with the twister up. Watson, on an errand rescue and a quest from an open den, runs into Holmes sitting in a disguise. They meet soon after Holmes requests Watson assistance in a case. He tells him of a man gone missing or probably dead from the first floor of the opium den, managed by La Lascar. The man Neville said St. Clair was rich, had a huge villa, and was devoted to his family. One day after he had left to work, now I'm going to start with the adventure of the man with the twisted up. Watson, on a round to rescue an acquisition from an opium den, runs into Holmes, sitting in a disguise. They meet soon after Holmes requests Watson assistance in a case. He tells him of a man gone missing or probably dead from the first floor of the opium den, managed by a Lascar. The man, Neville. The man, Neville St. Clair, was rich, had a huge villa, and was devoted to his family. One day after he had left to work, his wife went to town for Iran and found him a deformed ugly beggar who lived in the room claimed of not having seen St. Clair. But when blood stained his coat is found in the river below, the beggar, Hook Moon, is arrested. Presently, Mr. St. Clair received a note from her husband. Do not worry, which made Holmes return this approach the next day. He visits the prisoner and watches his ugly face to reveal the missing man. Apparently, St. Clair had begun for all these 3 years as it did come. The police agreed to hush the matter, giving St. Clair a stop the business of beginning. It was a fake death, like a fake death, but it was not. Thank you for your attention.
Good morning, teacher and class. My name is Yerick Gonzalez, and I am going to be talking about the two stories I had to summarize. I mean, I read them all, but I had to summarize only two stories. One of them is the adventure of the blue Carnbuckle, and the second one is The Adventure of the Final Problem. The first one is located on the page 50 to 69 from the book. It's this one, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by Arthur Conan Doyle. During Christmas, Watson finds Holmes inspecting a hat that an inspector found that in this hat was drugged along with a goose in a scuffle with some thugs. The hat is found to belong to a Henry Baker, to which no one pays interest, till it's found that the goose had a priceless bruised stone in its crop. It's revealed to be a jewel of value and interest. Sherlock Holmes brings the hat and traces the people who are searching this stone or this jewel to steal it from Mr. Baker. By coincidence, these geese got mixed, resulting in the chain of events. Ryder is too shaken with the crime, so Holmes lets him go, stating it's the season of forgiveness. The second story is The Adventure of the Final Problem. This tale, it is not detection or pursuit. Is only Holmes comes to Watson's home at night and talks about Watson and Mr. Watson and all of his family and everything. He also traveled to the continent to escape Moriarty. Moriarty is one of the first great leaders of organized crime and fiction. They were going to see Moriarty. Doyle presents him as in every way Holmes' equal, except that Moriarty's inherited criminal tendencies that have made him diabolical. Moriarty has organized a crime network that is like a giant spider web, with the professor as a spider at its center. That means that all the next villains, we can say, from that chapter and next are a group of evil that organize Moriarty. And that was my summary from the two books. Thank you for your attention, and now you will be seeing my friend Alexander.
Good morning. My name is Alexander Cordero Soto, and today I'm going to talk about The Adventure of Sherlock Holmes by Arthur Conan Doyle. Now, this book has multiple stories, but I will focus on two of them. These two being the return of Sherlock Holmes and the Adventure of the Empty House. So, I will briefly summarize both of them. First of all, these two stories are consecutive-ish. They are the Return of Sherlock Holmes, and then basically right after is the Adventure of the Empty House. In the original version, not this one, or the original uncut version, the Adventure of the Empty House started where the Return of Sherlock Holmes started. So they were kind of like united. Summary first of the Return of Sherlock Holmes. Holmes dramatically returns from the dead, or from being presumed dead. He's not a zombie. He and Watson reunite to take down would-be assassin of Holmes, and now, with Moran in jail, Holmes can now safely return to London and resume his detective businesses with Dr. Watson. Now, right after this, the Adventure of the Empty House takes place. shortly after Sherlock Holmes basically returns from the death, this story mostly takes place in an empty house. Parallel to the infamous 221B Baker Street, the story main conflict basically, Sherlock Holmes knows someone has been watching him since he quote unquote died, investigating him, or looking for him to come back. So he knew about his fake death. Now, Sherlock Holmes needs to catch that henchman of Moriarty. He puts a bust in his room who they constantly change. The housekeeper there, the housekeeper there changes the busts every few hours to simulate movement. Now they hide in the empty house across from the house to catch the killer trying to assassinate him, because the empty house has a clear view to the bust of Sherlock Holmes. So when the killer tries to take a shot, Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson apprehend him, and the police takes him to jail. So the case was closed shortly after. After that, Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson resumed their adventures on their investigations together.